Welcome in, everybody, or welcome back if you're watching our WWE 2K22 stream, as we were doing a little custom creation, whatnot, on WWE Universe mode at WWE 2K22. But now it's time for a little football, and we're getting ready for our fourth and final quarterfinal playoff game, and it's going to be a big one. It's all been kind of leading up to this, and since we're going to be in New York, we'll do a little afternoon ski, and we're gonna put a little snow. We haven't done any weather. Should we do flurry? Let's do the heavy snow. Let's get the heavy stuff up there. This is playoff football, right? So we're gonna have snow. We're gonna have weather for the first time in this one, and it is the final quarterfinal game, and it is between the defending Revolution Pro Football Season 4 champions, the Ann Arbor Annihilators, and the quarterback that quarterbacked that team to victory, Dan Marino. Brian, welcome back. You're the man. Dan Marino was taken in the Season 5 draft by the New York Nightmare. This is the New York Nightmare's first postseason game. They've been in the league since Season 2. This is Season 5, and this will be their first opportunity at winning a playoff game, and they're doing it with the man that has been to the playoffs all 5 years in his Revolution Pro Football career, quarterback Dan Marino. The winner of this game will travel to Tennessee to take on the Toxic in the semifinals. The semifinals are set with Oklahoma City, the 7 seed, traveling to Atlantic City, and the winner of this game will take on the Tennessee Toxic in the semifinals. So if Ann Arbor wins, we could be 2 wins away from an Ann Arbor Oklahoma City rematch in the Revolution Bowl 5, if you guys can believe that. So we'll see how this one turns out. It is the New York Nightmare. They are the 4 seed. They are 3-2, playing host to the Ann Arbor Annihilators, the 5 seed. And there you see it, the heavy snow for the first home playoff game in the history of the New York Nightmare. Of course, we know that the future of both of these squads, as we transition back to the RXFL, is going to be New York Nightmare, of course, moving to New England, becoming the New England Nightmare. And then we know the Ann Arbor Annihilators. Well, I guess we don't really know their fate. We'll kind of touch on that as we go along. But it's going to be interesting in the snow. How is the snow game going to turn out? The first bad weather game we've had in the Revolution Pro Football playoffs. I encourage you to check out the past stream. We've had some incredible quarterfinal games, including some really close ones, some overtime games. They've been very, very good action thus far in the Revolution Pro Football season.
Dan, let's have a good one.
There you see it. Steve Young, Dan Marino, they were traded in the draft. Dan Marino, longtime quarterback of the Ann Arbor Annihilators. Steve Young, longtime quarterback of the New York Nightmare. The New York Nightmare got the pick in the draft in the gold round, and they were able to exchange any gold player for another gold player, and they decided to send Steve Young away for Dan Marino. And I suppose they could have. They had, Fred Bolitnikoff. That was another option as well. They could have kept 2 quarterbacks, but you really don't need 2 gold star quarterbacks, so it would have been a waste. And you want to team up Dan Marino with him. So here we go. Final quarterfinal game in the Revolution Pro Football postseason. The lost season, you guys asked for it. It is back. And look at this. Oh my goodness, you never want to run backwards. But it turned out it might have worked out there for Willie Gold. They get to the 25, and that is where we will see Dan Marino and the New York Nightmare start things off in the postseason for the 5th consecutive year. And they're going to start things off with, no, it is going to be a flea flicker. Well covered down the field, but he dumps it off to Billy Joe Dupree. And Max Dupree. What'd you guys think? Maximum male models, huh? Mansois and Marseille. Forget about Seth Rollins. It's all about Mansois and Marseille. A running game is something that Dan Marino has had since coming to the New York Nightmare, which he didn't have previously. Chuck Muncie with the first down. You can see all the results of Season 5 up on our Patreon page right now, patreon.com/tvsports27, or check out the link in the description down below. And you can see how the New York Nightmare, this is the second time these two have actually played this season, and the Nightmare actually struggled out of the gate in the early going. They did not play so hot, and they came on as of late. Obviously, they thought they were going to have a 12-season schedule to work with, but the financial issues amongst the Backstreet Boys reunion tour and everything cut this season just short. But we got our financial investor, which we revealed on our Patreon page, on our Patreon exclusive playoff stream. But if you guys weren't able to tune into that, we are going to name our Patreon, or not our Patreon, our secret financial investor during our championship game, Revolution Bowl 5. So there you go. What's going on, Zach? Welcome back. I watched the Portland Ironman quarterfinal. Oh, you like? I know, disappointing ending, but what an incredible game that was, right? Coming down to the wire. I think a lot of people, they thought Portland, with their good record, you know, they kind of got upset a little bit, but it was a crazy game. We'll see. I mean, your team, your Ironmen, are going to live on in the RXFL as the Portland Lumberjacks with Russell Wilson. They actually have one of the top records in the league so far, so pretty big news there. Marino is going to eat a sack, and Ann Arbor trying to make it. They are in the championship game for the 5th season in a row as well. First year with their new quarterback, and as we said, they have been the class of the league. They finished with the top record in the league in Season 1, Season 3, and Season 4. In Season 2, they finished with the 2nd best record in the league, just behind the Salt Lake City Fury. And all 4 years they went to the postseason. It was kind of a running joke at that point. 3 consecutive years. Best record in the league. They would get eliminated in the first round by a lower-seeded team. Finally in Season 4, they broke through. They defeated the Gainesville Clash and made it to the championship. A hard-fought championship game, but a lights-out performance by Dan Marino that you can read all about in the Season 4 stat book on Patreon. So check that out if you do, please. But here we go. Look at the heavy snow, man. Heavy snow battle between the Annihilators and the Nightmare. Steve Young's legs, they're going to be pretty critical in this game. And there he goes. The defense just kind of watched Steve Young easily make that first down. Steve Young, 3 years with the New York Nightmare, including a rough first year when they were known as the New York, New Jersey Assassins. And they had a pretty bad first year, and you can check that out in the Season 2 stat book. But they've bounced back the last couple of years, had some decent years, but had not been able to make the postseason with Steve Young. Here in Steve Young's 4th year with the Revolution Pro Football League. He's got the Annihilators, his new team, into the postseason. So it seemed kind of fitting that the big trade, the big draft that was made of Dan Marino heading to the Nightmare would see it come to a head here in the postseason. 2nd down and 16. Young into heavy traffic, and throwing has definitely been hard to come by in this snow. Without a doubt. I mean, it's playoff football in New York. What do you expect? Not going to be a lot of room to work with here on this 3rd and long. Young. He's got an open man, and Ricky Sanders, man, he had the opportunity to try to get the first down. He got behind the defenders, but it didn't work out. And defense hanging tough on both sides, Ann Arbor and New York. Quarterfinal game winner takes on the Tennessee Toxic in the semifinals. Roger Staubach, who's been to league championships in the past. Zach Green, what's going on, Zach Green? Welcome to this snow-filled postseason battle.
First and 10 from your Nightmares 20-yard line.
Down. Sit.
Oh, what happened there? Wait a minute. That was a disaster. I don't think I've ever seen that in as many years as I've been playing this game. Someone just trip on the handoff, I guess because of the snow. So a loss of 6. I ain't never seen that before. Wow, look at that. Maybe I should have just done the flurries. Why'd I pick heavy snow? Oh my god, I was trying to make it look visually interesting. It might be a hamper to both of these offenses here. There we go. Don Maynard, and he barely got back upfield for 3. Well, it's a slow start. A couple of number 13s out there. How about that, huh? 13 to 13.
We need a big chunk here, boys.
This ain't gonna be easy.
Surprised that's allowed. Dan Marino trying to go back-to-back league championships. The only 2-time league champion is Warren Moon at quarterback. Where Staubach, Montana have both been there twice. Elway once and Marino once, but a slow start for Dan Marino. That has been the problem for the New York Nightmare this season. Has been their slow starts, and another slow start beginning here for Marino and company. Are you guys excited? Once we get done with this, we got 3 more games, and then we will be done, and we can transition back to the RXFL. I know we're calling it relocation football. We can keep calling it Revolution. That's kind of a cool name. We can call it the Revolution Extreme Football Legends or something, right? We can call it that. But yeah, you guys excited to be getting back to the RXFL? We're right in the middle of week 6, and I think it'll be pretty fun to get back to that. As much as I have enjoyed my time with this game, I kind of want to see how that RXFL season is going to play out. Up the gut to Ricky Waters, and the fact that we're kind of able to give this backstory by bringing back the lost season. We were kind of able to tell you which teams from this league would transition into the RXFL. Obviously, if we were able to create our own teams, we probably would have kept a lot of these same teams. Actually, have you guys seen, though? If you haven't, don't do it yet. Keep watching me, of course. Oh my gosh, the defense in this game. But did you guys see the Maximum Pro Football 2023 trailer that dropped? That game was incredible. And that's going to have a deep creation mode. So maybe if that game ends up being really good, we can maybe transition from Madden back over. I like having, USFL, XFL, AAF. I like having a league where I can just kind of make up the teams. I can kind of control everybody, just kind of chill, not have to worry about offense, defense. I like just going on offense and just trying to put up points, and I can do that with these kind of fantasy leagues. A fumble on the play, and the sloppy play continuing here on both sides of the ball. New York's going to get the ball on that fumble recovery. Craig's going to pick every one of the scrub players. I don't know why they were featuring a center right there, but yeah, ball popped loose. There it was, and it goes to the Nightmare. But definitely, that's definitely a game I will be looking into if Maximum Football ends up playing as well as it looks. I know they've had a couple of releases in the past, and they've kind of just been okay. This one looks really, really, really good. So that could also be an option in the future where, after we do our one season of the RXFL, if that game ends up being cool, and we can make 32 teams. And I guess the biggest thing is I want to play with the Legends roster. I like having all the Legends and playing with the old football players of the past. So that's part of what would kind of keep me with playing Madden. But if there's a way that I can play that Maximum Football, make my own teams, and also if someone makes like a legendary roster, that would be very awesome and very ideal. But we'll see. But for right now, that will be the plan going forward. We still have the option if you guys want to see the Legends Hockey League, the XHL. We can always bring that back as well. But
let's do it. Break.
2nd and 2.
that yeah, I know, like, as I said, that was kind of one of our lower rated streams that we ever did, was the XHL stuff. We're going to create a 10-team hockey league. We're going to kind of open it up with like a lack of rules and everything too, and it just it never really got going.
You guys ain't got game. Okay, let's run. Tight triple, strong draw. Look alive, baby. Break.
3rd and 2 from the Annihilators, 39-yarder.
Down. Set.
3rd down and 3. Muncie going for the 1st down. Coming up just short.
They pick up 2 yards on the play. Gardner credited with the tackle.
4th and 1. They got to go for it, right? I mean, come on. Yeah, oh yeah, they're going for it. But as I said, keep me posted with if you guys ever want to see more of the XHL.
4th and
You know, that's something we could play around with as well. But I still got we got to play. We haven't played the red. We got to the 2nd round of the playoffs, and that was a big play. And Muncie's not going to get the 1st down. Defensive fight in the snow, folks. But we got to get back to playing hockey. We were in the playoffs. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? The Jim Mora Trophy. They got the Lombardi Trophy in the NFL, the Mora Trophy in Revolution Pro Football. Greatest head coach. But yeah, we'll get back to hockey at some point in time. There's just only so much time you can put in, you know. But I want to see how my Red Wings do. We had the big upset of the Capitals. Kevin Green. Speaking of WCW wrestlers, there's big Kevin Green. New to the league this year. He had some great matches, some great promos. I don't care, you know. Kevin Green was awesome in WCW. The Cleaner's here. What's going on, Cleaner? Welcome in. Tough defense down the field.
You got one like I
What's
want,
going on
huh?
to your cat as well? My cat's sleeping in the other room right now. So there you go on that one.
2nd and 10.
Oh man, it has been a hard to come by 1st quarter in the snow. A lot of good defense. Play action fake, and Young can't get the ball away. He's going to get quarterback sacked by the Refrigerator Perry. He spent his early years with the Ann Arbor with the Huntington Beach Killer Whales.
I want to see you tighten up that side of the line.
And now here playing in the snow. So to go from the beach to the snow. 3rd and 18. Young heaves it down the field, and it's caught by Sanders. Sanders had a couple of nice plays in this game, and that's the end of the 1st quarter. Ann Arbor on the move, one of the heavier weather games we've seen in quite some time. The Annihilators 0, Nightmare 0, as we head into the 2nd. This is what playoff football is all about, man. This is what it is all about. The Tuck Rule game, the Ice Bowl. Ricky Waters, a whole lot of east and west, didn't get north. What do you guys think? Let's hear some predictions. Who's going to win Revolution Bowl 5? Ann Arbor, New York, Tennessee, Oklahoma City, or Atlantic City? What a catch by Jensen. Touchdown. Annihilators. A little snow angel here. Ann Arbor. Actually, this is the first time we've seen Ann Arbor in their white unis in the playoffs, because they're always at home. They're always the top seed. 5 consecutive years. As we said, season 1, the big upset. They lost to the under 500 San Antonio Dragons in season 1, the big upset there. Then in season 2 and season 3, losses to the Huntington Beach Killer Whales, as the Killer Whales would go on to win back-to-back league championships. And then finally in season 4, they finally won their first postseason game as they knocked off Tim Tebow in the Gainesville Clash. And they would go on to Revolution Bowl 4. And they would end up winning the whole thing, knocking off John Elway and the Oklahoma City Bandits. Now the Bandits led by, in fact, both championship teams lost their quarterback in the season 5 Revolution draft, as Dan Marino missed the post, or I should say John Elway missed the postseason as he was quarterbacking the St. Louis Rhinos, who are going to continue on in the RXFL. That means Troy Aikman with the Oklahoma City Bandits, the 7 seed, hanging along. And off to Chuck Muncie. Something's got to give here. It's either going to be Ann Arbor, again continuing their dominance, or it's going to be Dan Marino continuing his dominance in this league. Dan Marino looking for a 3rd consecutive playoff win. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Or it'll be Ann Arbor getting their 3rd consecutive postseason win. Nobody was open, and Marino eats another sack. Marino's been dropped a number of times. That would be a taunting in the NFL. But Marino couldn't find anybody open, and I think people thought when Dan Marino came in, it was going to be just like in Ann Arbor. We talked about the great team that they had.
This is the call.
They had Drew Pearson, they had Mike
cross.
Ditka,
Let's make it count.
Irving Fryer. I mean, they were stacked wide receiver-wise. And coming in here, I mean, you see Gold Star, Fred Bolitnikoff, Willie Galt, Don Maynard. People were thinking that this was going to be a duplication of what happened in Ann Arbor. And so far, the early games of the season were a struggle. There's a big first down, Don Maynard, 13-13. But it was a big struggle the early days before they finally got it turned around just before the Backstreet Boys reunion tour took off. It halted the season before our financial backer came in. We're going to reveal who that is at Revolution Bowl 5. But if you want to know ahead of time who the financial savior of the RXFL Revolution Pro Football was, you can check that out right now on Patreon, our Patreon exclusive stream where we seeded all these teams. That is on Patreon. Well, it's hard to see when they get the close-up. You cannot see these faces in the snow. It is heavy snow. I'm starting to think that maybe I should have gone with just the flurries. This is very heavy. Oh, Chuck Muncie in the snow. Touchdown, Nightmare. And he's going to return the Snow Angel. Of course, we know that this team is going to become the New England Nightmare. As we're going to see the expansion New York Shamrocks. And then we have the Brooklyn Beats, who are going to be a relocation of the Atlantic City Eclipse. But the New York Nightmare, after a couple of years here, they're going to end up partnering up with the New England Patriots to move up to Boston. That's a big controversy. Boston, a New York team going to Boston. But they're going to bring back the old Patriot logo. They're going to make a combination of the Patriot hat uniforms and the Bledsoe era uniforms. They're going to keep the Nightmare name as a partnership with the New England Patriots, the New England Nightmare. But we'll see if they can win a league championship on the way. So all tied up 7 apiece now. Still early in the second. Kurt Warner had a nice rushing game back in week 5 for the Annihilators. Uniform starting to get roughed up, scuffed up here. 1st and 10, and they give it to Ricky Waters.
Waters with the carry. He picks up 4 yards on the play. Johnson credited with the tackle.
Down.
6.5 to play. 2nd down and 6 for the Annihilators. Steve Young. What a catch by Sanders. That's about, what, the 3rd or 4th big catch for Ricky Sanders in this one. Steve Young, a very nice 6 of 9 for 100 yards in this ball game. And Ricky Sanders doing his thing. Yeah, man.
First and 10 from the Annihilators, 50-yarder.
Oh, another trip. That's the 2nd time. I swear to you, I've never seen that in all my time playing this game. Now I've seen it twice. That's incredible. Kevin Green's going to get credit with the sack. But just the snow causing a gaff in the handoffs. We've seen it happen to Marino. Now we just saw it happen to Steve Young. Steve Young stepping up. I can't even see where the line of scrimmage is, and he completes it to Ricky Sanders again. Ricky Sanders, a new member of the Ann Arbor Annihilators. They had to replenish after Drew Pearson and Irving Fryer got taken away to other teams. But he's doing his part.
First and 10, ball at the 20-yard.
Gary Clark is still... Actually, no, I think Sanders was on the team the whole time. I think Clark and Graham are the new ones now that I'm looking at it. I'd have to look at my roster sheet on Patreon. Mike Ditka's definitely been with this team since day one. And there's Ditka with the touchdown for Ann Arbor. And everyone's doing the Snow Angels. Not as unique, Ditka, when the 3rd guy does it. Maybe it was Sanders, Fryer, and Pearson. And I think Sanders was left over from the draft. But they lost their quarterback in Fryer and Pearson. But Clark is new to the team.
Barrow is back for the point after. Doyle.
He was previously on the Huntington Beach Killer Whales. Extra point, good. Ann Arbor back on top. So the offense is starting to pick up a little bit here.
The Annihilators are kicking off. Gall back to receive.
Under halfway to play in quarter number 2. And the way things are going, it's looking like it might be another close one, as we've seen so many playoff games. But we also saw that happen. We have the earlier playoff game. Playoffs. Yeah, it was close at halftime. And then all of a sudden you saw Portland just completely tail off there. So that could also happen. We also saw that happen to, not Portland, it was Columbus. Columbus and Atlantic City, where it was tied. It was tight. And then all of a sudden, Atlantic City just laid it on, and Columbus fell by the wayside. 2nd and 5 for Marino and company. Play action fake. Catch by Maynard. USFL Championship tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss it because I'm going to be, as I said, working, filming the fireworks for my work. But I'll try to catch the highlights, of course, on YouTube. I put the highlights up. Oh, intercepted. Picked off. Is that Solomon Wilcox back there?
You can't get that crap past me, man.
Looks like it was Marion, actually. So intercepted, an advantage, Ann Arbor. They should have done the USFL. Well, I guess Money in the Bank was tonight, so it's kind of hard to avoid. But I mean, doing the game on 4th of July weekend. Maybe they should just give him a 2-week break. I don't know. It just sucks I'm gonna miss it, but gotta work, you know. That's why we always if you guys are able to help on Patreon, make this a full-time thing. Leon Lett coming in with the sack. That way we can stream a lot more with you guys. We won't have to worry about missing the big USFL game, right? With your support, viewers like you. Da-da-da. All right, second down and 19. The lefty, Steve Young. What a pass! And Sanders is there again. Sanders driven out of bounds, but he is having a huge game, an MVP type game right now for the Ann Arbor Annihilators. Eugene Robinson got the tackle out of bounds. But Ann Arbor, even with losing their star quarterback, losing their top 2 wide receivers, they're still in this thing, and they could potentially get back to the championship. Could you believe that?
He picks up 5 on the play. Lett with the tackle. 2nd and 5 from the Annihilators, 27 yards.
Second down and 6. Young, incomplete, a little underthrown. Eugene Robinson was there. That was a dangerous one. That could have taken all the momentum away from the Annihilators. Third and 6 for Ann Arbor. And he's sacked. Leon Lett. Well, last time we saw Leon Lett in the snow, it was not a good situation. He cost the Cowboys the famous game against the Dolphins in the snow. So we'll see if Leon, on this missed field goal, will stay where he should be. But a long field goal attempt in the snow will be about 42 yards. And it's not even going to make it. Yeah, that was a rough kick. So the turnover, held down by the New York Nightmare. We don't have any Michigan teams in the RXFL. Maybe we can just have to make our own or something, but Michigan is not going to make the cut. There are no other Michigan cities to relocate to. No Detroit, no Ann Arbor. Do you think Ann Arbor, would they support Michigan football so much? Do you guys think the city of Ann Arbor would be able to support a pro football team? And that's kind of why I wanted to put a team in Ann Arbor. That was one of the ideas when I started picking cities, is a lot of the college towns that have big attendance and that support their college team like crazy. Ann Arbor, obviously Gainesville. We have Knoxville. What other college cities do we throw in there? Birmingham, it's kind of a college town. You get UAB, but I mean Gainesville being the big one. I mean Omaha, Omaha college town, college World Series there. You had Omaha, Ann Arbor, Gainesville, Salt Lake City as well with the Utah Utes, from the college town, and then Tennessee. And Columbus, Ohio, that's the team I'm thinking of. So, Columbus, Knoxville, Gainesville, Omaha, Ann Arbor. Trying to see how these college towns would support. I mean, and sometimes it works out, and then, I remember seeing some of the lower, we saw the Houston Roughnecks of the XFL playing at the Houston Cougars Stadium. Wasn't they paid for new turf or something like that? It was kind of cool. The Dallas Renegades played at the baseball stadium. But I want to say those ones were attended quite a lot more.
This is the big one right here, boys.
But the other XFL teams, the Wildcats played at the soccer stadium.
Focus on this one.
The Dragons played at the Seahawks Stadium.
2nd and 15.
Of course, we had the big attendance at the St. Louis Dome for the Battlehawks game, and fortunately for the Guardians and the Vipers did not have that good of attendance. Marino, man, he is not looking too hot right now. Was there only one college? Let's look at the XFL team. Was there only one college stadium they had in the second XFL? Yeah, because the Defenders played in a soccer stadium. The Dragons, the Guardians, the Vipers, and the Battlehawks all played in NFL stadiums. The Renegades in a baseball. Yeah, so the Roughnecks were the only team that played in a college stadium. Well, how about that? All right, 3rd down and 15. Pocket collapsing. And he steps up, does Dan Marino. I can't even see where the end zone was, but it's a touchdown to Bolitnikov. Now, we've talked about how they haven't quite been on the same page yet. People thought that this was going to be a big, Marino coming in here. And this was going to be a big this connection, basically, to find my words, is going to be a big deal. It was going to light the world up. It has not done that yet. They've been few and far between, but they have had a couple of moments quite like that one. I'm looking forward to, Zach, Money in the Bank, yeah, coming up in just 4 hours, right? They pretty much eliminated the need to watch the pre-show because they don't really do pre-show matches anymore, so I'll probably throw it on in the background just to see like any promos and stuff. But I miss the old Sunday Night Heat. That was the best pre-show, man. That and the free-for-all. They would do all kinds of, like, the whole thing would just be backstage interviews, and you get to hear a little bit from like JR and King, and then you get like 2 or 3 matches. Man, if you want to see a pre-show done right, because I'm going through all the old Monday Night Raws on, well, it started on WWE Network, but on Peacock. But go watch the Sunday Night Heat that was leading up to God, what event was it? Oh my God, I just watched it too. It was like, was it Breakdown? I think it was Breakdown 1998. I think it might have been called Breakdown.
1st and 10 from the Annihilator, 30-yard line.
September 98. Hold on. It was with the Triple Cage. Yeah, the Triple Cage. So it was a Breakdown. That was one where Austin lost the championship. Go watch the Sunday Night Heat before Breakdown if you want to see a pre-show done right. That's what I miss. I miss pre-shows like that. I mean, that had I don't know if I can find like a description here. I'm looking on Wikipedia right now. But anyway, I miss pre-shows like that. I'm looking right now on Wikipedia. The event 3 matches on Sunday Night Heat. Yeah, anyway, go watch the Sunday Night Heat and before Breakdown and how awesome that was. I mean, we almost got like Stone Cold and Mark Henry in a cage match on the Sunday Night Heat before that show. That's how like crazy that was. So I miss pre-shows like that. The ones they do now, they're okay, but I think everyone says the same thing. They're not really must-see TV, if you will. Ronda versus Natalya, yeah, that'll be a good one. I'm interested to see, are we going to get at SummerSlam? You know, they've been unifying all the championships as of late, and especially on SmackDown last night. You're seeing a lot less of the brand split happening these days. Like, when we saw Ezekiel and everybody from Raw just showing up we saw Asuka on SmackDown. I wonder if at SummerSlam we're going to get the women's unification, because it kind of seems like that the split may be coming to an end pretty soon here. And a quarterback sack. We've seen a lot of sacks in this game. I definitely did not anticipate. I guess I did pick the heavier option of the two. I was not anticipating the snow to be this thick, where it is really hard to see down the field. We're still getting a good game though, but boy, you can't even see the out of bounds or anything with how thick it is. I mean, look at this. The whole field is covered. I don't think I've ever seen it like this thick. I've played a lot of snow games. Maybe I've always just had the flurry option on. Is that inbounds? How can you even tell if that is inbounds? Referee's discretion, they're going to say inbounds, and Ann Arbor is going to go ahead and burn their last timeout. So they pretty much got to go to the end zone on all of these plays, or else it's going to be pretty devastating for the Annihilators.
First and 10 from the Nightmare. 22 yards.
Steve Young, incomplete. I don't know if that would have made it into the end zone. It's dangerous. The game's wanting us to desperately kick a field goal, but I mean, there's still 18 seconds left.
Second and 10.
Heavy snow.
22 yards.
No flurries here. Second and 10. Oh, is that in? Touchdown. I can't even see. It's up to the referees, but it's a touchdown, and the Annihilators will go on top going into the halftime on the road, the first road playoff game for the Ann Arbor Annihilators. And Steve Young, in his first postseason appearance, is trying to make his former New York Nightmare pay. 3 seasons, 3 missed trips to the playoffs. But he's coming in here and saying, you should have hung on to me, because this is what I can do if you put a team around me. First postseason appearance for the New York Nightmare. Seconds, so all their timeouts, and certainly with Marino's arm, you can take a couple shots down the field here. Exactly what we're going to do here. Completed catch to Maynard, and they say out of bounds. I don't know how the heck you can even tell. So now I guess you just you go for the old Hail Mary and just see how this one turns out. Of course, we know Dan Marino is going to go on to sign with the Chicago Cougars, staying pretty close to his old home in Ann Arbor. Incomplete. And Steve Young, he's on Tampa Bay, isn't he? Tampa Bay Mutiny, I believe. All right, that is it for the first half. 21-14, Annihilators lead the Nightmare. Only 155 passing yards. That is way down. Well, at least they cleaned the field up a little bit from where Dan Marino was last season. And if you want to see Dan Marino's last season stats, say it with me or type it with me. Patreon.com/TVSports27. Dan Marino had 2 amazing passing performances, like a 600 yards passing pretty much in both games. He is way under that in this one. But look at the Annihilators. They're going to be in wonderful field position here. And Ricky Sanders, between his catching, his kick returns, he is having the game of his career right now in the postseason. Just making it all sorts of easy right now for Ann Arbor. Ricky Waters with 3 on the ground.
He picks up 3 on the play. Johnson credited with the tackle. Second and 7.
All 7 passes thrown Sanders' way have been brought in. 174 yards. Incredible. Oh, wide open. Steve Young got hit by Leon Lett. They're showing us, I believe it was Lett. Maybe we'll get a replay. I don't think so. He got hit, which caused the wobbly ball, and Steve Young missed the wide open Mike Ditka. Boy, oh boy. Steve Young rolling out, just got to get rid of it, and it's incomplete. And a great kick return goes for naught. And the Annihilators have to hand it back over to the New York Nightmare.
The Annihilators have selected to punt. Lane deep to receive.
Let's watch the play, y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Thank you for the new subscribers. We're moving up, getting close to that 1,000 mark. Big business for us. Get up over 1,000. Obviously, both these quarterbacks want to pass the ball a lot. I haven't seen as much on the ground game from Muncie or Ricky Waters. And another passing play. Marino is hit as he throws it. And I guess knowing that these guys want to just pass the ball, they're able to kind of just tee off on both Marino and Young.
Second and 10. Ball at the 15-yard line.
Down! Sit!
Right up the gut to Muncie, and Muncie isn't having the greatest game in the world either on the ground. He had the one nice run, did have the touchdown, but not helping the cause.
Everybody ready? It's gonna be.
It's gonna be 3rd down and 8 for Marino. And this is the struggles that Marino had, and I mean, I hate to say it, it's kind of been a staple of Dan Marino's career. And almost is dead on. That's incomplete. Just like with the Miami Dolphins, Dan Marino, a fantastic regular season quarterback, one of the best. Terrible in the playoffs. One Super Bowl appearance. And that was kind of starting to be the chatter here in the Revolution League, as he had 3 the great seasons, 4 seasons, with this team having the top record in the league. And he couldn't win a playoff game. Finally, in season 4, if you want to quote Steve Young, who is now the Annihilators quarterback, quote-unquote, got the monkey off my back, finally broke through, had 2 very good postseason performances, as we mentioned, throwing for over 500 yards, I believe, in both games. You can check out the stat book, season 4 stat book on Patreon. But here he is again. I realize it's the snow, it's the conditions, but Dan Marino kind of struggling again in a playoff atmosphere. And if he loses this game, and look at the numbers, if he loses this game, Dan Marino, he is going to fall to 2-4 in the postseason, with the 2 wins coming in season 4. But if he loses this one, it'll be a 2-4 postseason run for Dan Marino, which is not good, considering he's led his teams to the top record in the league 3 times. 1 time, the 2nd best record. And then here, the New York Nightmare, the 4 seed.
With the carry. He picked up 7 on the play. Robinson credited with the tackle.
But right now, Ann Arbor is kind of in a good way. And we could see our first team go up by double-digit scores. If the Annihilators find their way in the end zone. Oh my goodness, what a hit. Drilled at the line of scrimmage. Johnson.
This kind of pickup should be no problem for us.
3rd down and 2 for Steve Young and the Annihilators in the thick snow. How about Ricky Sanders? What is that, 8 for 8 for Sanders? Guy's unbelievable.
Pickup of 10 yards on the play.
Unbelievable performance.
First and 10 from your Nightmares. 15
What can be done to stop Ricky Sanders? They got to double team him, maybe. I don't know. Ricky Waters. And he's going to lose 2 yards on that run.
Number 91 with the tackle.
Kevin
Johnson,
Green.
2 yards on the play.
He would love to win another league championship. Many years with the Steelers, the Panthers.
Sit.
Wide open touchdown. And the Annihilator's starting to pull away.
The last pass was complete to Ditka.
Well, maybe they did double team Sanders and they left Mike Ditka wide open.
Barrow is back for the point after. Doyle will hold the kick.
Some of these kicks have been a little wobbly as of late, but that one is perfect.
The extra point is good.
Can see nothing in the fog.
The Annihilator to kick off.
Steve Young can see victory, though.
Back to receive.
Well, it's got to be a pretty big comeback here. Can Dan Marino and company get it together?
Receiving team. 15-yard
We're going to have a clipping call, so that's not going to help the Nightmare. Home teams have been pretty successful in the postseason. They were undefeated up until the big upset of the Portland Ironmen. We could be seeing another upset bid here. There's a catch by Bolitnikov. They let Bolitnikov get behind. And there's that combination we've been waiting for. Touchdown, Nightmare. They needed that. That was a quick strike, too. That looked like the old Dan Marino. The Ann Arbor Annihilators Dan Marino on that play. Nightmare not going away anytime soon, folks. Kick is good. 28-21, your score. Sanders didn't get too far on that one.
A return of 18 yards on the play. Ball is spotted at the 30-yard line.
All right.
1st and 10 from the Annihilators, 30-yard line.
Again, nothing much for Ricky Waters.
Run by Waters. Tackle made by Johnson. No gain on the play.
As long as Steve Young keeps passing the ball well, it's not going to matter.
Down. Sit.
We are going to go back to the passing game, and Ditka one-on-one, and there goes Ditka. You got to focus. They were trying to go for the interception instead of trying to swat the ball away. Ditka won that fight, and he got into the end zone. Watch this. Yeah, that scrub, he was trying for the interception rather than playing defense, and that's what led to that touchdown. Ditka overpowered, catch, touchdown. And the Annihilators. Again, they had a bit of their slow start as well. The 2 losses, obviously. You can actually go over their schedule. Compliments of Patreon. A little plug for Patreon.
The Annihilators are set for the kickoff. Golf back for the return.
Of course, my Google search drops me all the way to the bottom. Lord Google Docs. Okay. So week 1, Ann Arbor shootout, losing to Oklahoma City, 52-42. Steve Young 6 touchdowns, so he kept it going. 10. Marino. Whitnikoff. In week 2, the Annihilators knocked off the Nightmare. They actually played that game up in Canada. That's part of we were gonna kind of travel around here. And so that was the first win of the season. And that actually dropped the Nightmare to 0-2. Ann Arbor whooped Gainesville then. And then they would lose in overtime to the Dragons. Play action fake here. Marino. Incomplete. Steve Young would throw for 365 in that game. So the 2 losses on the year. Week 1 in a shootout. So this team might be better than we thought. Week 1 in a shootout with the Bandits, who are in the semifinals. And then overtime loss to the Dragons before picking up the Week 5 victory that we all saw against Warren Moon and the Huntington Beach Killer Whales. Chuck Muncie. And Muncie, if he could have gotten the block, he would have been in good business right there. Looking at the numbers for Steve Young, he's played quite well. I mean, most of his games passed for 200, 300 yards. So, I mean, he's been up there. Again, you got the record. The 2 losses here, which put them on the road. But overall, he's done quite well for himself. And there we see Marino with another big catch. And now it's starting to go back and forth a little bit.
23 on the play. First down, Nightmares.
Okay, people. Pair slots, 50 tight end, out and in. Look alive, baby.
First and 10.
Still anybody's ball game. Incomplete. Oh, has had an injury on the field. Might have cut away a little too soon. I think he might have had an injured player.
How about we push him back?
I'd have to imagine here we're going to see the ball pretty much in Dan Marino's hands from here on out. Wide open, Maynard. Touchdown in the snow. Nightmare back in it. The Statue of Liberty back there? I can't even tell. Throw the snowballs. New York City. And New York, they've kind of been a traveling team too. As we said in season 1, they were the New York, New Jersey Assassins. And they played around in, Brooklyn, New York City. I know they played some games in Hartford, some games in Jersey. I think played some games on the island there down in Queens. This isn't always the stadium they would be in. They'd be in some different cityscape backdrops. Look at Ricky Sanders. Get out of here. I don't know what. I couldn't see the field. I thought that was the out of bounds. Oh, Ricky Sanders running out of bounds. I thought the white was the out of bounds on the outside. So it might have been a touchdown that Sanders lost because of that. Well, all defense early on. All of a sudden, the offense is picking it up in the second half. But as soon as I say that, Leon Lett with his 5th sack. Are you kidding me? He's trying to make up for the snow performance. Hey, what's going on, Beast? Welcome in, my friend. The Beast is here. Chicago Beast. Man, Leon Lett trying to make up for the embarrassment from the snow game that he suffered last time he was in the snow with the Dolphins with a 6th sack performance here tonight. We are still in the 3rd, man. It feels like this game should be wrapping up any moment now. There's still a lot of football left as Gary Clark makes the grab.
Pickup of 32 yards on the play. First down.
And that is actually Clark. I'm thinking of Dwight Clark. I mentioned earlier that Clark from the Killer Whales. That was Dwight Clark. Gary Clark is the longtime member of the Annihilators, the one guy that didn't get taken, along with Ditka, as Marino, Irving Fryer, and Drew Pearson all got drafted away. That is indeed Gary Clark, who stayed with this team. Incomplete. So, as I said, lost Marino, Drew Pearson, and Irving Fryer, but Gary Clark, Mike Ditka stuck around, and they're trying to get this team back into the championship.
2nd and 10 from the Annihilator. 22 yards.
First down, Ditka. And so far, the Nightmare have been able to climb back into this one, but they can't overcome this deficit. Who do you think is going to win Money in the Bank tonight? Ooh, maybe Ezekiel. Can I throw out the Ezekiel prediction? Probably Riddle. I mean, he's got like so much momentum. Touchdown, Ann Arbor. What a game in the Annihilator playoff history. I'd probably put up there as like a Matt Riddle or something like that, just because of, you know, how much success he's having as of late. But I could also see Ezekiel pulling it off, and we've seen guys like Otis and you know, Baron Corbin win in the past, so anything is possible. Right? Eddie Edwards, AIP. Mr. AIP.
The extra point is good. The Annihilators are set for the kickoff. Go back for the return.
Can the Nightmare find a way to overcome a 2-touchdown deficit? This uphill battle that they've been in throughout the whole game. As the 3rd quarter coming to a close here in this one. It has been a long game, I guess, because of how much passing both teams are just doing. A lot of incompletions. The clock stops. Incomplete. Bolitnikov drops it. USFL championships tomorrow, actually, Zach. Unfortunately for me, because I'm gonna be working, so I'll miss the championship game. But it's actually tomorrow. Man, it's hard to go against the Stallions. I mean, they've been pretty much near perfect all year long, but the Stars are very hot right now. They're winning. They had a slow start to the season, and they have come on as of late. Case Cookus looks like a future NFL quarterback, whether it be a backup. I would be shocked if he didn't find himself on a team next year. I'm not so sure about Jamar Smith because he can be very inconsistent at times. Obviously, he wasn't even the named starter. Magoo was the starter for the Stallions. There's Chuck Muncie, the biggest run of the game for either team. And Muncie, not enough speed, but the 3rd quarter will come to a close with New York once again trying to close the gap. But I'm going to go with the hot hand. I think Case Cookus, I think the Stars are going to pull it off. Just because they've been so hot. That defense, that Philadelphia Stars defense has been amazing. With as many INTs and everything as that they've had. So, yeah. Play fake for Marino. incomplete. Again, that's an animation that's not in Madden. You will just eat the sack when that happens. Rather than the realistic thing, which is the ball falling to the turf. If you try to throw the ball, which I've documented in all my past streams, if you try to throw the ball with your arm going forward, the quarterback will just palm it and hang on to it. I love that that's in this game. But, you know, we got Madden 23 soon, so maybe they say it's supposed to be less animated, so we'll see. 3rd and 1 for the Nightmare. Muncy's starting to turn it on late here. 98 yards, but most of them, 41 of them, you see came on that big run just before the end of the 3rd quarter.
1st and goal from the Annihilator. 6-yard line.
What are you going to be watching tonight, Zach? The IFI? What is the IFL? Oh, indoor football. Right? Indoor football league, right? What is the IFL? The Birmingham, or the Barnstormers, Iowa Barnstormers. That's my team. I'll probably have that on during Money in the Bank. They're playing the Massachusetts Pirates. They pretty much need every win they can get to get into the postseason. Touchdown, Nightmare. Now might not be the time for the, who's your IFL team, Zach? What team do you watch? I think I've kind of gone over my history of arena football, but I grew up, obviously, from Florida. So I grew up a Tampa Bay Storm fan. Just growing up here. They were always really good. Shane Stafford and everyone. And then later on, I became a Chicago Rush fan. I still like the Storm, but I always like to have 2 teams for every sport. But I became a Chicago Rush fan because of my time I spent with my dad's side of the family up in Chicago. I actually went to a Chicago Rush playoffs against the LA Avengers. It was kind of cool. So I became a Rush fan through that. And then when the Rush went away, I became an LA Kiss fan because a lot of the Chicago Rush players and Bob McMillan went to the LA Kiss. So then I was a Kiss and Tampa Bay Storm fan. Then the Kiss and the Storm both went away. So then I became an Albany Empire fan. So Storm, Rush, Kiss, the Albany Empire. And then when the AFL folded, then I went to the Indoor Football League. So the first year I was watching indoor football, I was going to go with the Quad City Steamwheelers. I always kind of liked them. I liked their logo. I liked their colors. And they had like that 103-0 defeat in AF2. But that was the Backstreet Boys reunion tour season. So they only played 2 games, and then they canceled the season. I was like, oh, crap, okay. So then they announced the next season. Oh, Ditka! That was a big drop by Ditka. Then the next season, the Steamwheelers were going to take a year off. They weren't going to play in 2021. So I was like, oh, well, crap. Well, I need to find another team. So then I was going to go with the Nebraska Danger because I like their colors. I like the neon green, the gray. Well, they ended up folding. We're like, oh, my God. So then I ended up just settling with the Iowa Barnstormers. I never really watched the Barnstormer teams in the past, but that was a terrible pass, and that's going to be New York's chance to get back into this one. Being an Arizona Cardinals fan, such as I am, you know, Kurt Warner. I always liked Kurt Warner. I was like, wow, Kurt Warner used to play on that team. You know, obviously the helmets are classic. They're really cool. Black and gold, the red. So I ended up just, you know, Storm, like the Tampa Bay Storm, Barnstormers. So that's how I ended up with the Barnstormers. So that's my history of my teams. It was the Tampa Bay Storm, Chicago Rush, LA Kiss, the Albany Empire, and then the Steamwheelers for one game. And then here we are with the Iowa Barnstormers. Darius James Peterson, man, that guy is fast. What a fast quarterback. DJP. Barnstormers, my team as well. I grew up in North Alabama. Oh, the Tennessee Valley Vipers. That's right. Yes. And then they were the Alabama Vipers when the Arena Football League came back. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Oh, up in Huntsville there. The first 2 TNA pay-per-views happened where the Tennessee Valley Vipers played. Yeah, same here. And that's why I ended up when I couldn't cheer or watch the Quad City Steamwheelers for 2 years. And same thing. I like that name, the Steamroller, kind of unique name. But that's how I ended up with the Iowa Barnstorm. It was just the identity, the brand, you know, the cool helmet. I do like the San Diego Strike Force though. They got cool uniforms. The camo and gold. And here comes the nightmare. Folks, we might get some overtime the way this is going. This has already been a lengthy game, a lengthy stream, pushing past an hour. I usually try to make most of my streams around an hour just to make them palatable for everyone. But man, we could get some OT. How about oh, look at this. Incomplete. What a defensive effort by the Ann Arbor Annihilators. Saving the tie game right there. How about the turnaround for Northern Arizona? They were the worst team in the league last year, and this year, they're unbeatable. The Wranglers. 2nd and 10. Marino is going to try it again. Touchdown! And we're an extra point away from tying this one up. We're going to get back to also, Zach, to playing more arena football, so stay tuned for that. We're uploading a lot of our old arena football episodes, our Georgia Force. We have a season and a half of Georgia Force football that's going to be going up on Patreon. I think the first 5 episodes of that are up on our Patreon right now. But we're going to be doing some more of our Kansas City Brigade arena football coming down the line here. So stay tuned for that if you like the indoor games. Such as I do. All right, well, look at this, folks. It is 42-42 all of a sudden. All tied up. Six and a half to play. Do you score quick? If you're the Annihilators, that's usually their game. Not a good day for Ricky Waters. And in the snow game is where you want your running backs to step up. This might be the highest scoring snow game in pro football history. Well, look at Ricky Waters right on cue. He's going to go into the end zone. And we're going to get a flag. He tried to high step into the end zone. Eugene Robinson drilled him from behind. Not liking that.
Number 41, defense. Half the distance to the goal.
Oh my goodness. That always happens in every football game when a commentator says something. They show the numbers and then a breakout happens. There's a whole YouTube video about that, like announcer jinxes. That wasn't a jinx though. But doesn't that always seem to happen in sports?
Point after. Doyle on the hold.
That's awesome. Yes, more Kansas City Brigade coming your way for sure on the PS2. I bought a PS2 on eBay just to play that game. That's the only game I have on my PlayStation 2 is that game. And I bought that used PS2 just so I could play arena football. I think I've spent like what 30 or 40. I forget what in total I paid. The game only cost like $5, and then the PS2 was only like 30 or 40. The memory card was really cheap, so yeah. Who is going to win out in this one, folks? It is going back and forth. This looks like an arena football game, the way it's going back and forth with both of these teams. Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. That was very dangerous. We've only seen the one interception so far in this game happen early. Compliments of the Ann Arbor Annihilators.
32-yard.
Hit as he throws in a Bolitnikov has had a couple of drops. 13, well, they say 0 drops. He's dropped a couple of them in this game. I don't think that stat line is correct.
3rd and 10. Ball at the 32-yard line.
Let's go, D!
Willie Gall. What a grab. Here come the Nightmare. Well, bottom line, what it comes down to is the team that's going to lose, man. It's not without effort. A lot of these teams, a lot of history on the line. Dan Marino, 4 consecutive postseason trips with the Annihilators. The Annihilators, 4 consecutive postseason trips, now 5. They're trying to get back to a league championship. Dan Marino's trying to get back to a league championship. It seems weird to see Dan Marino on the opposite side of this game. Incomplete. Couple of these we've seen. Incomplete passes.
Everybody ready? It's going to be bunch 50, Z deep post. Let's do it.
Marino getting them hyped up in the snow. 3rd and 9. They'd be in field goal range, but it wouldn't do much good for him here. First down. First down, Nightmare. Oh my goodness, only where Marino can put it. What a game this has turned out to be in the heavy snow. Dupree catches it. Tackle, they're going to say he's short of the end zone. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. This is looking like a classic Dan Marino playoff game. I mean, if you want to see stats, look at the stats from the 2 games, Season 4 stat book on Patreon. Patreon.com/TVSports27. The triple overtime game, what was it, 69-66, the final of the championship game? Oh, man. Muncie held out of the end zone. That's going to end up maybe being the downfall. Is that touchdown not counting? Marino nearly got into the end zone. It's 3rd and goal. And they're starting to lose time. And time is actually pretty important here because we've seen how quick these teams can score. And Muncie 1 yard shy of the end zone. 4th and goal for the New York Nightmare. A field goal ain't going to do it.
They think they can punch it in on us?
Holy smokes, it might come down to this. The fluke bounce, the catch by Dupree, not being able to reestablish himself and get into the end zone. And a goal line stand from the Annihilators. Not going to happen. Muncie into the end zone. Touchdown, Nightmare. What a game to conclude the quarterfinals. An extra point from tying it with 2 minutes to play. Who wants it more? We saw the clash and the toxic come down to the wire. We saw the Iron Men and the Bandits come down to the wire. We've seen some incredible postseason games, and it continues. We got 3 more after this. 2 semifinals and then Revolution Bowl 5. For the Jim Mora Trophy. We're going to get a couple of plays here before the 2-minute warning. They're going to run the ball with Ricky Waters, who had a big run at the end of the half. They're going to try to get one more play before the 2-minute warning. They can't get lined up, guys. It is 49-49. It is coming down to this final 2 minutes. Dan Marino trying to win his 2nd consecutive playoff game after leading the Annihilators to 4 straight postseasons. The Annihilators trying to win their third consecutive postseason game after Dan Marino led them so many times. Who is going to win? Is it going to be the Annihilators continuing where they left off at last season on their quest for Revolution Bowl 5? Or is it going to be Dan Marino continuing his quest, winning a second championship? Timeouts might want to start being called right here. I don't know. Steve Young got the ball knocked out of his hands, incomplete. And we saw how good Ricky Sanders has been today.
You don't want it that bad. You don't want it.
Second and 10.
Right around midfield here, 2nd and 10. And they're going to hand it off to Cartwright. They're getting a little fancy there, and it didn't work out. That might have burned them. Timeout's not being called by the New York Nightmare, somewhat surprisingly, knowing how quick they can score. Steve Young. First down! The Nightmares got to start calling timeouts.
He picks up 20 yards on the
They're not calling them.
first down. Annihilators.
Time ticking down. Ann Arbor and go for a field goal here. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock.
Incomplete pass thrown by Young.
It's looking really, really good right now if you're an Annihilators fan.
24 yards.
Right up the middle. Now, New York is calling timeouts, but it might be too little, too late. As for Dan Marino, if this holds up,
We gotta start putting up a bet.
he will have gone to the league playoff 5 consecutive years. He will have been eliminated in the first round of the postseason 4 out of 5 years. Unbelievable. Ricky Waters.
Gain of 8 yards on the play.
Running it straight down the gut.
Second and 1.
They might think about letting the Annihilators just score here. I would think that would be the call right here. What a playoff game in the snow. Winner of this will take on the Tennessee Toxic in the semifinals. The time will tick down. A timeout called by Ann Arbor, and they will attempt the game-winning field goal to send Ann Arbor to the semifinals once again. They played in 5 consecutive semifinal games. It's good. It's good, and the Ann Arbor Annihilators are headed to play the Tennessee Toxic.
That's the end of the game.
Steve Young and Roger Staubach, 52-49. What a football game we saw here tonight. Zach Langston says it's a shame. Yes, it is, but Dan Marino, man. I mean, he's been to the playoffs 5 consecutive years. He's been bounced in the first round 4 out of those 5 years. So a lot of that goes on Marino. We said the future of the New York Nightmare, they're going to end up moving to Boston. They're going to leave town. They're going to move to Boston. They're going to sign a deal with the New England Patriots in association with the Patriots to license and market the Patriot logo. They're going to become the New England Nightmare. And Dan Marino is going to end up signing with the expansion Chicago Cougars. Actually, not the expansion Chicago Cougars. The Windy City Raging Rabbits actually rebranded as the Chicago Cougars. So not an expansion, but he's going to end up signing with the Chicago Cougars after the rebrand happens. So after 4 years in Ann Arbor, 1 year in New York, another one and done for Dan Marino. Dan Marino will sign with the former Ragin' Rabbits, and he will sign with the Chicago Cougars. As for the Annihilators, they move on. So now we know in the semifinal round, it is going to be the Ann Arbor Annihilators traveling to take on the Tennessee Toxic, and the Oklahoma City Bandits traveling to take on the Atlantic City Eclipse, meaning we're either going to get a rematch. We can see the Bandits and the Annihilators back-to-back years in the championship game, or it'll be Tennessee or Atlantic City going for the first time. Of the quarterbacks left, Staubach, been to the championship twice, never won. Steve Young, his first playoff victory. He's never been to the championship. John Elway, or I should say, not John Elway, but Troy Aikman with the Bandits. He has never won a league championship. And Atlantic City, Andre Ware, the Heisman Trophy winner. So of the quarterbacks, you're going to see a quarterback win the league championship for the very first time. The only one with championship experience in Revolution Pro Football is Roger Staubach, and he did it 2 years with the San Antonio Dragons. Guys, that is going to do it for tonight. Again, the Bandits and the Eclipse, the Toxic and the Annihilators in the semifinals as we are coming to a close on Revolution Pro Football. Ann Arbor does it again. Dan Marino is once again out. 4 out of 5 years, a first-round exit. And before we had our expansion, pretty much the top 2 teams would go to the top 4 teams would go to the playoffs. So it was always a semifinal round in the playoffs. And look at that performance by Steve Young. 3 years with the New York Nightmare. He couldn't get it done. Never took the team to the postseason. In the draft, the Nightmare traded Steve Young away to draft Dan Marino, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks in league history. And the end result was Steve Young shoving it right back in the face of the team that gave up on him, as Steve Young was able to lead his Ann Arbor Annihilators to a victory here over the New York Nightmare, and with a depleted team than what Dan Marino had to work with in the past as well, with no Irving Fryer, with no Drew Pearson, but he made it happen, and the Annihilators win. They are going to play in yet another semi-final game. You guys are the best. Thank you for tuning in as always. Enjoy Money in the Bank tonight. I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow with my work-related adventures, but maybe on Monday you'll see me a little bit during the day because it's a holiday, so I won't be working Monday. But until then, until next time, you guys are the best, and we'll see ya